Okay, now we're good.
of doing it together.
Yeah,
all
my
at
headphones
once.
sound my headphones sound way better
Synchronously.
now. Okay, hit the record button.
It's already going.
All right, cool, perfect. All right, so this is John's mic syncing.
This is Nathan.
Ian.
Matthew.
This is me. I don't have to clap because I'm doing this anyway. So
Ooh, okay.
Listen, myself. Do
Okay.
the work. You know what to
don't
do.
screw this up, dummy.
All right,
That was
so
for me
it's
later on.
it's been around 6 weeks, if not more, since we last recorded. So thank you guys for making
Has
sure
it been that long?
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a
We
while.
didn't do it at all in November, and then I was out for the baby.
I thought we did after.
No, we were going to, and then I had a project that went to crap. He had fatherly duties. Steven was out of town for one of them.
We did at least one work day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a work day where we did some of this, which some of this has to get partially redone, but it's not a big deal. Like that one keeps falling down for some reason, so we gotta redo the tape.
Matthew.
I wonder who did those.
These ones on this door, the bottom ones, are like all falling off, so we gotta redo those.
See, this one down here is falling off too.
Yeah, so we got to do some touch ups to this, but again, not a big deal.
This one's falling off too.
Yeah, it's okay. We're gotta redo all those anyway, so I'm not worried about it. We had to do a little bit extra work. No big deal, because what I think specifically to fix those ones by the shelf, I'm going to take the shelf back off. We're going to put full-sized panels along that bottom row, and then we'll basically butt the shelf up against it. So everything will just kind of pass through a little bit easier. Because we have plenty of space. And then, like, again, if the shelf gets offset by that 1/4 inch, again, we can drill new holes into the bottom of the shelf and put screws in. It's not a big deal. Who cares? So it's pine. It'll be fine. That's the saying now.
Still missing
pine.
finish on the top.
Everything is pine. Just pine.
I'm not gonna lie.
Clip
I'm
it.
actually really enjoying working with the cedar.
Yeah.
It's very nice. It's the first time I've ever worked with it.
Yeah,
This is
I'm
smooth.
actually
Sicky smooth.
looking at the
It's
pictures of
very
what you
nice.
sent, I'm like, because I need to build a new TV console and a storage unit out there. That's why I was starting to look at planers and some woodworking tools, things of that nature. The cedar, I'm like looking at everything online for plants. A lot of people have been using it.
Well, and not only just the fact, I mean, it is pleasant to work with in general.
It smells great.
It smells great. My garage has been smelling fantastic
Yeah, I love
for
the
a
smell
while.
of cedar.
But my God, I don't know if it's just Lowe's supplier or if it's just the supply of wood, but it's halfway straight. Somehow it's halfway straight. If anybody knows anything about like buying pine at Home Depot, my God.
It's
That
bad.
sounds like the
It's really
title
bad.
of somebody's album, Halfway Straight.
Probably.
That's Steven's next country album, Halfway Straight.
I like it. Well, and like I didn't have to dig through those piles like very much at all to find properly straight boards. Like it was actually pretty easy.
Yeah, no, that's impressed me quite a bit.
No, the only thing, I mean, again, those are definitely, when I got them, they were definitely rough sawnings. My God, I should have worn gloves picking those up.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
were
they're
they were quite splintery.
they're little splintery.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad
Splintery.
though. No, they're good. They're good. So no, happy about that. I like the progress.
I'm getting
you're
really
making there.
freaking tired of having to put my teams in dark mode every single freaking time I open it in the browser.
I haven't had that issue.
I'm with you every single time. I switch back and forth from our 365 account to work or my personal one. Every single time it goes to light mode.
Yeah, and my work ones and stuff, I mean, always stay like I've never had an issue.
Listen,
And every time I open this in the browser, and it's not like I'm opening Teams in the browser and then signing in.
Hold on.
I'm signed into the portal that is in dark mode,
You-
and then I open Teams, which goes to light mode.
You've
which
made
drives me nuts.
you made a bad assumption. Here's the problem. It's a Microsoft product. It's only going that one feature.
That can only be so much of an excuse.
that one
That
feature.
should
Listen,
not be a cache setting though. That should.
it's not a cache setting. It's not a cache setting. That is supposed to be
Cache money.
That's supposed to be a server side or a client side setting that is applied on each time the application is refreshed. However, this
They suck.
this is Microsoft, where when you're trying to set and change default settings, they always want to go back to default. It doesn't matter. They want to be default.
I don't care. Well, that's too dang bad.
Listen, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, if you're using the local application,
Were
there's
we asking you to?
no. But best thing I can recommend, like, there might be like a registry key you guys can go and set to force it to always be in dark mode. That would be something. Or, I don't know, write a letter to Mr. Microsoft and tell them, hey, you know,
Actually, I don't know why I'm
on
not
dark
using
mode.
local client. It's
I'm using cloud in here.
Okay, so we're over 5 minutes. We should probably intro this.
Matt
For
has to
what?
push the button. Like Matt does the entire
Are
thing.
we ready?
It doesn't matter when we're ready. You just press the button and we
We'll
just go.
Keep
Push the
talking.
button.
I'll let you know when.
Yeah,
I'm
No,
good.
no, push the button. It's already been 5 minutes. Let's push
no,
the
it
button.
has to be a surprise.
on.
No, it's fine. And like again, if we keep talking through this because it's all multi-channel, Steve can just put our channels. Like us continuing to talk through this, it's perfectly fine. Let's see if he remembers to do what he's supposed to do. Have to call Mr. Microsoft and he'll fix it for you. That's perfectly okay, Steve.
Won't. We just had a discussion on they don't fix anything.
They fix
They
what they
just
choose
they
to
actually
no,
there's stuff that they make good and then they ruin it.
Thunder plump.
well,
Teams.
that's the entire thing of being a developer. Listen, you make something good and then you keep trying to improve it by making it worse.
Is that true,
And-
Matthew?
It depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, welcome to Hostility Morning. This is a brand new podcast that we're starting that it's only taken us, I don't know, 3 years to get off the ground.
I think you just
Who's
forgot your
counting?
name.
I didn't forget my name. My name's John. I know exactly who I am. Who are you?
I'm Ian. The
Good,
other
nice to meet you.
The other three don't know who they are, though.
No, it's fine.
I'm
They don't-
Matthew.
That's a fair statement, actually.
I don't know who Matthew is.
I
but
think
that's
this is
okay.
launch number 3.
It takes me about
Like 3, 4, 5. I don't know. We're probably on
It's
like
not over 5.
we're probably on like version 4 at least.
Can we
At
title
least.
this episode "Failure to Launch"?
Yes, we
Just so we actually
definitely
have
can.
to put it out there.
It's,
Yes,
it's episode 1.
100%.
It's episode 1. If you
Didn't
want to
we-
go in and
Technically, this should
subtitle
be
it, fine.
episode 0 if
Didn't
we're gonna.
we-
This
didn't
is
we
this is
have another-
technology.
We've
so-
already done
Episode-
episode 0.
That was
But
called
did we?
failure to launch.
Yes, we did.
Many episode zeros.
Episode 1
This
is going out.
This is episode 0.001.
No, this is episode
it's
1.
0.3.
Listen,
Something
we
like that.
we
It's
need
pretty
a
much-
standard
We're still in
versioning like platform. Okay,
semantic
can we
versioning.
get a standard?
Semantic versioning.
That's fine. I have no problem
I'm
with
good
that.
with
We
We're
version.
just have
still in alpha, but semantic version.
Tech-
technic.
0.0.0?
No. Technically, this is now we're in beta because we have announced saying that we exist. And we've technically have attempted to put something in. So we're past alpha stage. Our alpha was it was like Starfield's alpha. Very, very, very long.
I think we should
At
have
least
an
it's not as
8 octet,
repetitive as
uh,
Starfield.
it's
Yet.
it's definitely
Yet.
not.
We could get there.
an 8-digit.
Procedurally generated content, we could do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just have Chat GPT write our scripts for us or something.
I think we might be doing that now, honestly.
Or Bing.
This
if
is
we wanna go that route.
episode 172.21.0.3.
I like
Pre-release.
Pre-release. I like it.
Pre-release.
You're forgetting the letters.
No. That's a good.
That's- no, what-
I like that IP address. It's a good IP address.
How about you leave the IT stuff to the IT people? All right?
Exactly.
All right.
So, anyways, this is technically a technology focused podcast where, in essence, we're going to rant about, business IT, personal IT, software, video games, any piece of technology or things that technically piss us off during our day-to-day lives. In reality here, none of us could actually properly afford to get therapy, so we chose this route instead. So thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Insert clap track here.
That's entirely too much work.
That's all we
Oh,
could
different
afford.
clap.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it.
My name's Nathan, by the way.
Well, good. We finally got the introductions out of the way. So, in reality here, this is not really scripted. So, whatever you guys want to discuss, what's pissed you off this week? What do you guys want to talk about?
Windows.
Windows?
I gave a script. What are you talking about?
Did you? I don't
Yes,
see
I
it.
Yeah,
did.
this is number 1 on the thing.
What?
Points to cover.
Probably should
Where?
have used
Oh,
this
points?
one.
Yes.
Yep.
First
Look at
one.
the bullet
for-
points.
Okay.
First episode
Well,
plan.
we can
Is it
check
this-
off point 1. Point
is
1
it-
is done.
Is it this Word document titled Episode 1, Third Version, Final?
If that's what it says, that's what you've labeled it as.
You literally have put points to cover. We've check first one. We've checked the sub
Listen,
point
I
between
I
that.
forgot.
We're on
I
point
forgot.
number 2.
Listen, we already have strayed away from the standard that we have had for the past 3 years of we do show notes in Word, and now we put the show notes in Teams.
What 3 years? Is
I
this
just
an
threw out a
alternate
Word
universe?
doc. Thank you very much.
I didn't get the notification.
Sir,
You
this
got
scroll
the Word
down.
doc.
This is the first time
Oh,
we've
good
ever
Lord.
met to record a podcast, and this is the first episode. I don't know what universe you're talking about the last 3 years.
I had deja vu the other day where I had deja vu of my deja vu, and it hurt my head both times.
How much sleep were you like not getting during that
I
period?
think that was the third day of 3 hours.
This is like that. This is like that meme. Like I heard you like deja vu, so I put deja vu in your deja vu.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
even deja vu, bro?
Deja vu?
Deja vu?
Anyway, so I
Anyway.
hate Windows 11.
Why?
Okay.
What-
It started out
it's
alright.
just an operating system.
It started out alright
It's
because
just
I
an operating
started
system.
using it about 6 months after release. So this would have been what it was launched July of 2022.
I think 2022.
Oh, so it's only been out for a year and a half.
It's either 2021 or 20. I believe we were getting preview in 2021,
Yeah.
and then I think it actually hit full release in 2022.
Okay, so then I've been using it for a little over a year then.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopped on the bandwagon like 4 to 6 months after release. It was
Wait,
all right.
'cause you
it
hate
wasn't,
yourself, it's
It
fine.
wasn't terrible.
Windows 11 released October 5th, 2021.
2021. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, it has been out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
About 2
wasn't.
years.
It wasn't too bad. It's slowly gotten worse. Like a lot of the little things that I really freaking hate. The File Explorer is the big one. Is when I am trying to manage files through the File Explorer. I don't know if anybody else gets this, but like let's say you delete a file, okay? For whatever reason, the UI still displays that file until you refresh the window. It has a refresh button now. Why does my file browser have a refresh button?
First of all, it's always been there.
It's been there for a very long
That
time.
makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. So, for example, Visual Studio, okay? So I'm a developer by trade. Visual Studio, if I make a change on the file system, that's reflected in Visual Studio. I don't have to refresh the file tree or anything like that. It just handles it. Why does the
Well-
Systems File Explorer,
Okay, again, this
why
is
do I have
a-
to refresh it there?
I think that
It's a
That wasn't a
Microsoft
thing
problem.
before.
what kind of hardware are you rocking at work that when you're mostly using Windows 11?
Mostly using Windows 11. So
You rocking current stuff? You
Yeah.
rocking little okay. So
Yeah, my laptop is a 12th gen i5, 16 gig of RAM, and it's an NVMe SSD. My desktop
Wait.
is a
because I've seen what you're saying. I'm not saying that I've never seen what you're talking about. But
this happens across all of my devices. This isn't just
Really?
work devices.
Because
Hold on.
I
I have the
haven't
biggest question
seen
here is
that.
how are you doing any type of development on a laptop that has 16 gigs of RAM? I can't even do. I work in the cloud all day and I can't even do my job of 16
I
gigs.
can-
Matthew, are you saying that you don't have dozens and dozens and dozens of tabs open between
In Windows?
a dozen windows of
So
a particular browser?
I use
Steven, you
things-
just lowball that by like 100%. at
yeah,
least.
I look, okay, I'm just
I do minimize my
Trying to
browser
make him
usage,
look
which
kinda
is
good,
probably
yeah.
where I get a leg up.
we don't need everybody to think he's completely crazy like right off the get-go.
No,
We can
but
slowly
This
build it over
intro
time.
pretty much put that to
you
bed.
do realize like work life, personal life, this podcast, I live my life in chaos. Like I have to have chaos to be functional.
He also
if-
doesn't sleep, so
You're not wrong. Again, another layer of chaos. Like if it is not there, that means I am unable to do my job. So me having 7 browsers installed, all open, all active, with a minimum of 10 tabs open at one time, with multiple Word documents, multiple windows inside of Teams open, multiple SharePoint sites open, multiple dockets inside the SharePoint, inside of our ticketing
Sounds like
system,
a nightmare.
with all of my
I don't know how he
notations and
keeps
everything
track of it
inside.
all.
It's super easy.
I'm waiting for him to start just installing VMs on his laptop so he can have even
I
more
can't.
browser windows open.
I literally can't because my laptop, as soon as it boots up, I don't even have anything open. Like, literally, I can completely reboot my machine, have everything shut down, open it. I'm out of RAM every single time. 16 gigs.
Now that's
is,
not
is-
entirely your fault though,
No.
because that laptop was provided by work.
Yes.
And so we've established that
Well, here's the thing.
There's
Even
other
even on
things.
my DevOps machine that I use, which is full Ubuntu, and I do all of my home lab work, all of my scripting and everything off of it, 32 gigs of RAM, I fully expect to run out of memory on that thing, but it takes like multiple days of the workload that I push on it for it to hit that point. The work laptop, literally within 2 minutes, it's out of memory. Every single time.
So back to Matthew's issue. So what you're
Refreshing the
describing,
File Explorer. Why?
I've seen that.
Why?
You
Why?
shouldn't have to. The short answer is you shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't.
Microsoft doesn't
I
refresh
don't
File
think-
Explorer. It gives you another File Explorer on top of the existing File
Well, that's a
Explorer.
That is also
settings
true.
thing.
But
No,
now
that's a settings
you
thing.
now you have tabs though.
See,
Which
I
that
like
is
I
nice.
like the tabs, but
I
now
hate the tabs because tabs is what causes my File Explorer to crash. Where the File
Because
Explorer
you have
window,
so many open.
I had two. I had two.
on
Oh,
top of
in
the other.
addition to
all
No, no, no,
everything
no, no.
else.
You gotta remember.
with what little life your computer had left, you opened
this is
another
HomeLab.
tab.
This is HomeLab. This is the media server. Okay, that again, the only thing it does is serve media files off through Jellyfin. That's all it does. And the File Explorer in that crashes constantly whenever I have more than one File Explorer window open, including the tabs. You cannot interact with them until you fully close out the windows, restart File Explorer, open it back up, then it's fine.
Okay, this does sound like some dumb. Okay, this sounds like somewhat normal.
This one's
Windows
not
stuff.
me. This one is
No,
not
no,
me.
I see. Yeah, no, the Windows just, yeah, Windows. Has
if they would spend
quirky
more
things like-
R&D actually making it a usable system instead of trying to figure out how to put ads in File
You can't.
Explorer,
Because you
That
gotta
would- that
you
would-
gotta remember
that would
Ads are
make me a
important.
happy camper.
between
Ads are
2010
important,
and
though. They're
2013,
really important.
Microsoft pretty much axed their main QA department.
Pretty much.
It was gone. No, not
Yeah,
pretty much.
just
No,
it's-
it was
it's
gone.
noticeable.
gone.
Yeah.
It's noticeable.
because they moved from
Yeah,
they moved
2020
from a
Windows 10.
yeah they moved from a business model of not doing it live, where they actually would pre-stage, pre-test, and like again the Microsoft preview program, preview was beautiful back then because again you were able to test those main builds before they were fully public and have direct feedback through the QA team of all your issues. Now through the preview program, when I submit issues and problem requests and tickets through them, I'll be lucky if I get a response like within 8 months. Like lucky.
Sounds about right.
But hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel on that though, because I bet you here in the very near future, you will be getting instantaneous responses. Because I can almost imagine that whole system is going to get run through Copilot.
Ooh.
So
I don't want that.
Tell me I'm wrong.
So
I don't
on
want
top
that.
of the File Explorer basically being a glorified browser at this point, like a web browser, it behaves like a web browser.
It does.
Even
yeah.
things like
it looks very
clicking
similar.
the new folder button,
You
right?
know- wait.
Where
you know-
it will create the new folder. The UI does not display the new folder. I have to refresh the current
Okay,
tab
this
that
is
I'm in.
starting to sound. Part of this is starting to sound like a settings thing or a your computer thing.
So the only
think he has a
thing,
corrupted
the only
OS.
thing
Yeah.
that I have done as far as
Did you- okay.
tweak settings,
So
the only
legit-
thing that I remember doing was just making sure that I could see the file extensions. That's the
Okay,
only thing that I
so
changed. And this is not again.
that
this
was
is not
probably enough
just-
to do it. Actually,
This is not just a single device. This is all four devices.
Did any of those devices, that one or any of the others, did you upgrade from Windows 10 to 11, or is it a fresh install Windows 11? Because we've
No,
seen
actually, no.
in-place
Because
upgrades corrupt a lot.
I learned my lesson the hard way on that one. I haven't. So my home desktop and laptop, the laptop right here, these were fresh installs at one point, and then both of my work machines are fresh installs as well. Windows 11 came from manufacturer on the laptop, and then the desktop was a fresh image.
Well, now fresh from the manufacturer, that's not always a guarantee either. It's a
It
not,
was
not a high percentage,
it
but you can get
was-
corrupted OSs from.
No, you just get bad
Microsoft Surface.
images.
it was
Not
refreshed
Not even
at least
Surface. Like
twice.
there was a very large span of the HP machines that we were pushing out that just came with a bad image on it. Like you had drivers that were barely functional, OSs that were extremely sluggish directly on them, and like the only way to fix half the root bugs we were experiencing on a lot of it was just put a custom image, just completely
Yeah,
wipe
because
it.
well,
and
and
just
two
reinstall.
back in 17, 18, and kind of early 19. I
No,
guess
and
it was
19,
still
yeah.
19. HP OSs, God, they had so much bloatware. They had
Oh, yeah.
so much bloatware, and then they finally got their act together for whatever reason in like 2020, 2021, and they're actually kind of nice now. I mean, they come
Lenovo
very
used to be
little.
really bad about that.
Lenovo
too.
was
Yeah,
also
oh
bad.
yeah, oh well, yeah, and they had like their plugins and crap that had like all their icons down in the taskbar and that nonsense. Oh,
So yeah, File Explorer. That's my first complaint. My second complaint is when the desktop crashes.
Actually, really quick, I just had a bit of an epiphany on File Explorer.
Mhm.
Microsoft didn't actually do away with Internet Explorer. They just repurposed it into the new File Explorer.
Shoot
don't
me now.
say that.
Shoot
Don't
me
say
now.
that.
I would not be surprised.
That actually is probably one of the
Dang
most
it.
So-
logical things I've ever heard.
I would not be surprised if it is actually a web app at this point, because if you
A lot of Windows
A
11
lot of it
is no, legitimately, a lot of Windows 11 is pretty much just a glorified web browser,
I love how I
and that's
started-
something they.
I started typing "is Windows" and the first thing that popped up is Windows 11 good?
the answer is
Do you,
no.
I'm about to say, do you want me to provide
It
feedback?
used to be.
Because, again, like, here's the hot take that I have. The last Windows OS that I truly actually adored and promoted and told everyone that it's a great OS, I recommend it for your personal machines, go ahead and run this, is Windows 8.1. 8.1
Yeah,
for
that's
me
pretty
was
good.
legitimately, it ran great. It was very, very lightweight, very little overhead on it. The UI, they fixed most of those bugs, and then as soon as you put starters back before it got compromised, it was perfect. Like, I had no problems. It was an updated 7. It performed phenomenal. I had very little compatibility issues with the back catalog of applications that I ran. It was good. It was just solid. It just worked, and it got out of the way.
Mhm.
That's the last Windows operating system that I could definitely say is just like full endorsement. 10, not really.
10 was all right.
Once I was able to actually go and do proper package management and I ripped out a bunch of the crap I didn't need in the image, it was fine. 11, no. Like 11, I do not endorse. I honestly, I have no problem with the UI changes. I got used to it. It's perfectly fine.
I like the Fluent UI. That's the thing.
It's just the performance overhead. It's a dog. It
Yeah.
legitimately is just a dog.
No offense to Scott.
But it was
out there.
supposed to be.
But
It's supposed to
it's-
be
yeah.
lighter and faster and good for gaming.
It's not. Like compared to 10, like 10 has its slowdowns, like for sure. I know them, I feel them, especially in the UI. I know its issues, but 11, it's pretty much everything I touch in 11 compared to how it was in 10 is slower. Like just opening up windows, opening up web browsers, navigation, doing anything through command line or PowerShell, it's slower. Like it just feels more sluggish.
I
to
don't
me.
get too
Even
many
though terminal's
slowdowns.
amazing.
Yeah, if I'm using Windows Terminal's pretty great.
It's amazing.
I've been using WesTerm more and more these days, just because I'm trying to like build everything around a cross-platform setup, so I can
Makes
use the
sense.
same tools on my Linux installations as on Windows installations. But anyway, the most of the applications that I use for development are fine, right? Like Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio is just going to be like it's a beast. It's Visual Studio. You're not going to get around that.
Well, it's also a performance hog, but also
it's
it's just like keep
huge
keep
performance
throwing memory at it, and it's fine.
Oh,
As
yeah.
long as you keep throwing memory at it, it's happy.
Yeah.
That's all it wants.
yeah, and that's the thing. But the desktop crashing really gets to me a lot.
Okay, this is like honestly though, your problems are starting to sound like you have a corrupted OS.
So desktop
Kinda,
crashing,
yeah.
and again, this happens on all 4 devices.
I mean that's not
Desktop
impossible.
crashing. What I'm talking about here is
Are
that
you
when
using the same Microsoft account between all of them?
Mm-mm.
Are
No,
they-
'cause
are they all-
I have my
are they
personal
all-
account on my personal machines and my work account on my work machines.
Okay.
But they're Microsoft accounts. They're not local accounts.
They're Microsoft accounts, yeah.
I mean,
Now,
I use Microsoft accounts.
To
but-
specify, the desktop crashing, this could be the, in some terms, Explorer crashing. I don't know the correct terminology here, but the taskbar
Mhm.
goes away,
Oh,
screen
Oh yeah, that's
flashes,
Explorer.
That's
and then it
Explorer
comes
crash.
back.
That's
Explorer
Explorer.
crashes
and that
so
could be
freaking
RAM
much.
saturation, couldn't it?
Or it could be page file.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
So
yeah, you need to
freaking
check
much.
that.
And this happens at least twice a day. So I'll like right click an icon on the taskbar.
128 gigs of RAM solve
Gone.
all your
Are
problems.
you using SSDs for your main OS drives?
Yeah.
How full are they? Are they over
Um,
65%?
Oh no.
Okay.
No. Like the my work desktop maybe, and my home desktop too probably. But like this one right here, I've got I think like 128 gig of usage on the Windows partition, and that's out of a terabyte. And I've got like 512 gig dedicated to Windows and 512 gig for Ubuntu.
Yeah, I'd start by just
wonder
cleaning up
if-
the page file first. Is what I would do.
Yeah,
Legitimately.
that would be a good thing. Sorry. Also, according to this article from Thurrott, THURROTT.com, The
Thought.
Windows File Explorer in Windows 11 is based on the Windows App SDK.
Okay.
Okay. Windows.
That's what it's built off of.
I gotta remember
Yeah.
the Windows App SDK. That I believe Windows App
That
SDKs
would
is
be
for the
.NET.
Windows. It's .NET. It's also supposed to be optimized for the Windows Store. For a lot of it.
I mean, there's probably a lot of garbage bloatware APIs in there, but
Oh yeah.
it's not
Guaranteed.
going to be necessarily going to be a web app.
Well,
and that's
Well, no, not for a web app, but
Yeah.
a Windows Store app, which is supposed to be technically applets, if I remember correctly, when it was explained to me.
yeah. Either way, Explorer is garbage, and it's the bane of my existence.
Well, why don't you just install Windows 11 Pro without the GUI and see if it performs better? Just
I
run it
mean,
all command
at
line.
this point, if I could run everything in a terminal, because really all I
I do.
need.
I have an entire Windows 11 Pro VM that I just run the terminal version of it, and it works great.
I like being able to click stuff. I like being
Yep.
able to drag and drop. The thing about the Explorer is it's just
It's
how
easier.
often it crashes. It's easier. It's
Yeah.
much easier to just drag and drop. It's much simpler, I should say. It's not necessarily more efficient.
I mean, come on. When I just
More
want
intuitive.
to move files around, I just use Robocopy, and it just moves everything.
when I want to
more
move files
intuitive.
around for most of my directories and
I
everything,
agree, Steve.
I can just either use the move command or like in Visual Studio Code. Oh my goodness! If you have the VS Code NeoVim extension, I'll have to show you guys. Like
Yeah, I need to see that
buttery
one.
smooth. Oh my goodness! Because you can edit everything the way that it's set up. You can edit the file tree like a text buffer. So the same thing that you use to delete,
Mhm.
you can also paste and everything. So you can just fly through it. It's
That is actually
awesome.
super nice.
I'll have to demo it. So because it really is a game changer. No more clicking and dragging and dropping and all that. You
Which
just
would be
bounce
super
around.
nice. Like
It's
that
so nice.
that actually is a game changer.
So
That
nice.
would save a good amount of time.
Yeah, I would look into. I think it's LF is the one that I played around with as
Okay.
a file explorer for the terminal. Ranger if you have a Linux installation or if you're
Mhm.
using like WSL or something like that. But anyway, Windows sucks. Windows 11 sucks. Specifically the file explorer. That's my biggest complaint.
Well,
I don't have a lot of complaints about how they rearrange settings or like control panel being slowly worked into just settings. I know
Oh, that's
that's a blow to Steven,
age
but-
old.
listen,
Don't. oh.
Yeah.
if we can just go back to the old right-click submenu, that's all I'll be happy with.
I would also like that. The right-click submenu is garbage. I hate the icons.
I got used to them, but I just prefer text.
Well,
Just
it's-
give me text.
And just
Yeah.
the fact that
The UI doesn't make
well,
any sense.
you're talking about. I mean, just a right click and just think
The context menu.
The context menu where
the fact
where
the
I
fact that
where I
why
have
is it
copy,
even a thing?
Paste and move all this
Who's
crap.
the person? I want to know who the individual is at Microsoft that made the suggestion, that even just thought it in their head and then said it out their mouth. Hey, we can't, or somebody probably said, oh, we can't, or we don't want to put, all this long list of stuff. We want it to be concise, and we want it to be this side, not go past this number of options in
but
the
all the
in
useful
the menu.
options are under
What,
more.
what do we do? We can't leave all this stuff. Why don't we have a hidden menu behind it, and we just give them more options? Whoever that person is,
It's
I
not
want to
even-
know.
it's not
I
even
want to
more
fight them in the
options.
street.
It's literally
it's
all
it's
the
a, it's
useful
the standard
options.
options,
worst thing.
yes.
The worst thing. But there's important stuff in there.
No, that's what I'm saying. The most standard things that typically if people on
Yeah, they
power
put 'em in the
users
hidden
access
menu.
Are yes.
Like,
Okay.
dude.
So I'm looking at it right now. We've got view, sort by, refresh, next desktop background. Those are the first 4 options. New is the 5th option, and then display settings, personalized. I've right-clicked on the desktop. I've got AMD software, Adrenaline Edition, power and rename, open in terminal.
This is mostly-
and then
Mhm.
show more options is
Yeah.
where you get the actually useful stuff.
Yeah, like,
But what heathens right clicks and still goes to new? Just hit freaking
Yeah,
shift
Control Shift N.
Control Shift Enter.
Yeah.
Like I do it all the time.
N.
N, not enter. N. You're right. N is in enter. It's fine.
I'm not gonna lie, and this was kind of early on in this current job. I felt pretty smart when I first learned that one. I thought I was real smart when I knew how to do the little key trunk.
I used to know so many keyboard shortcuts when I was doing custom image building like all the time. Now, since I don't do that anymore, I've forgotten so many. Like I used to be able to run all of Windows through the standard GUI without using a mouse very efficiently. I can't do that anymore.
Nerd.
It's a lot harder. One of the
It's also a lot harder
in
now
terms
than
of
it was.
keybind. So everybody probably knows Alt Tab. One of the ones that I found the other day.
Windows tab?
Well, Windows Tab.
Windows Tab's
for
the fancy
Alt
virtual
tab
desktop.
is still better.
Alt Escape. Have you ever used that one?
Yes.
So
Ooh, I don't
I
think
only just learned about that one. That's actually like changed more than Alt Tab. So Alt Escape, what it does is it will go through your open windows instead of. It's kind of like Alt Tab, but instead of opening the menu, it'll just go to the next window that's open on the desktop. Now, if you have, let's say you have 3
Ooh.
monitors and you have a couple windows behind, it's really wonky,
Yes.
right?
That's where you want to use the Windows tab.
Yeah, Windows Tab to select or Alt Tab to open the dialog. But this is just a faster way of switching. So
Okay.
what I've been doing is I have 3 monitors. I have the landscape monitor in the middle. I have 2 portrait monitors on the sides. And as
Copycat.
long as you only have 1 window on each monitor and you have nothing open in the background, that's where virtual desktops come in, where you can move back and forth. I can Alt Escape to move forward or Alt Shift Escape to move backwards. And then that way, it's faster than Alt Tab, because with Alt Tab you're kind of locked into cycling through. With Alt Escape, you can or Alt Shift Escape, you can go backwards faster.
You can Alt tab and then adjust direction with the arrow keys.
But this is just Alt Escape instead of, or Alt Shift Escape instead of Alt Tab and then arrow key. It's that extra arrow key makes a difference.
Ooh, I wonder if you can do the arrow keys with Control Tab too.
What is Control Tab?
Control Tab is if you have a Chrome window open, you
Oh.
can Control Tab. Control Tab is
It's-
tabbing through all the tabs.
It's any web browser, but yes.
I've
yeah,
got
yeah, web
I've
browser
got
tabs.
the Vimium extension for Firefox and Chrome, and it's GT to go tab or G Shift T to go back a tab. So you can kind of bounce through like that. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I'll have to demonstrate
Yeah,
that too.
people, Jesus.
I'm
Well-
telling you, you start using a keyboard for everything. I mean,
It's true.
your world will be a lot simpler.
because again, the
I do find it funny though that you say that when 10, 15 minutes ago you said, I really like having the GUI.
I
When
like
you
like
drag it
dragging
in.
and
I
dropping
like
stuff.
being able to use the mouse every once in a while, because sometimes it is simpler to just do that. But most of the time, especially with the way that Windows is going, has been going, it's a lot more cumbersome, because it's the crashing, the File Explorer crashing, having to refresh the tab in File Explorer, which should not be a thing. I just can't
You're right.
imagine
It should not be a thing.
why it's like that. I
would do
cannot
some,
wrap my brain around it.
genuinely. I would do some further investigation on your machines as to, like you said, page file. Just do some monitoring on some things, because that does not sound like normal behavior.
I'll try to record
I'd
it
have
so you
had
guys
none
can
of
see what
these
I'm talking
issues.
no.
about.
Okay,
See,
yeah,
I have a
'cause-
permanent fix for you actually.
I mean, I have seen those
Install
things
Linux,
before
that's the
in
permanent
Windows, but
I
they've
mean
been
that
on
is
crappy
a
computers.
fix. I mean it technically was a version of Linux. Just buy a Mac. If you buy a Mac, all these problems go away.
Oh,
Just
Which is Ian, what do you mean you don't like Apple?
Apple.
yay! I get to use the I get to use the sounds. Woo!
No, I mean, okay. Apple has great machines. They're
Yes.
They're a pretty good hardware company. I
They're-
will be
yeah,
honest.
they're-
They are actually a pretty solid hardware company.
their hardware is awesome. But
They invent almost nothing, but they're a good hardware company.
and that's part of it. They have the best liars in the industry. Their predatory marketing schemes.
Oh, they're masters at brainwashing.
yeah, they're
the masters.
their marketing is pure predatory. I mean, everything that they put out, just about, I'll reduce it back to like 96% of what they put out, they claim to be the innovators of. When in reality, they've either bought the company that actually innovated it, or they're passing off a pure and simple copy of other people's, and that's all it is.
Well, and it would be so. I agree with you completely, wholeheartedly. But I would say Apple could win over so many more people and improve that image so much by doing one thing. And it would be simply, I know that they've done this on a few things, but just a few. If all of the things that they've ever claimed to be this new thing that we're innovating and adding this new feature to our phone or our computer or whatever, that's been on other devices for like literally years prior to that. If they would have all this time come out and said, we have been waiting to put this feature on our device until we could perfect it. And now we have the perfected version of this that's been out for all this time, and it's going to be blah, 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 and go on to your spiel. If they would have just done that, there would have been there's a lot less people that would make this very complaint that we're making.
No, 100%.
But they don't. They do 100% act like they invented it.
Well,
And
it's
put
not
out
even
false
that
marketing.
It's not even that they act like it. They come out and just short of being able to be sued about it, claim that they did it.
Yeah, it's
Everything that they do. I mean, what was it? I think it was the cinema mode. They came out and made it look like cinema mode on the cameras. Was it last year? Whenever they first really started pushing it, was their innovation. They did this, they did that, and it was just the best thing ever. I mean, it's been on devices for years now.
So on that part, the question there is: are they doing it the same way everyone's been doing it, or are they doing it a completely different way?
But that's just what I'm saying. They're the way that they are portraying it. It's saying and sounds like to the vast majority of the people out there that they're the ones that invented it. When in reality, they are not actually saying that. Therefore, they can't be sued by it.
It's
USB-C.
What's hilarious.
There's no other way to do USB-C but to install a thing on a device, and they still acted like it was their gift to the world.
Here's the
not
funny
that
here-
they weren't
here's the
about to
funny
be
thing.
sued by
Here's-
the EU.
About to say, before they even got sued by the EU on that, they had USB-C on iPads. They had USB-C on MacBooks. They had USB-C on AirPods. They had it on multiple products.
Oh, but they promised backwards compatibility with Lightning, and it had a lifespan.
Cool, shoot an adapter. Use an adapter. Yeah, Lightning. That's been around for how many years? A USB 2 standard?
No, you know what's funny though about Apple's USB 3 implementation or USB C
technically
implementation on
Thunderbolt.
iPhones? It's USB 2.
I know.
It's on the
That's what
iPhone-
cracks me up.
on the
Because all the people,
iPhones,
the people that are like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be faster than Lightning and all that." No, they still stuck with
Okay,
USB
on
2.
on the standard iPhones, on the iPhone Pros, it is actually it's USB-C.
Like I'm all for Mac OS and everything. It's pretty great, especially compared to Windows 11 now. But some of the hardware decisions, most of the hardware decisions, let me put it that way, that Apple has made over the last however many years is just ridiculous. Like the mouse, the Magic Mouse, putting the charging port
It's
on
stupid.
the bottom
It's beyond.
is
stupid.
my
beyond
God.
bad.
Yeah,
the
that was
dumbest
really
thing
bad.
they've ever
I
done.
hate those.
When my wife first got the new iMac and she got that mouse and I picked it out of the box and I just looked at it like, what is this? It's obviously a wireless mouse, and I'm like, wait, where do you charge? And I flipped it over and there's a hole on there sticking straight out. I'm like, no. This has got to like come out, rotate something. There's got to be something else. No, just sticks out.
Good old
How
Johnny
the hell am I
Ive.
supposed to use this
Yep.
while it's charging?
I told her
Yeah.
to get the trackpad, not the mouse.
now,
She
and
didn't
I-
have the
I was about to
trackpad.
Yeah,
say,
the
now
trackpad. I actually really like the
I was gonna say
trackpad.
that's a
Yeah.
whole different thing. The trackpad is amazing.
Yeah.
she did get
that
both.
is the magic, or well, not
The
magic,
Magic
whatever.
Trackpad.
Is it called
It's
magic
called the
trackpad?
Magic
Okay,
Yeah.
which is just, I mean, the Magic Trackpad is just a trackpad from a MacBook that they took out and put in a thing. But
Which until recently
the
was
bigger.
the best
20,
trackpad.
the 2017, what was it? The 2016 or 17 MacBooks, and then beyond. From that point forward, plus the Magic Trackpad. Trackpads on Macs are, I don't have words to describe how much I love them.
But
They
again,
are
it all goes back to they
amazing.
have amazing hardware.
Yeah,
But the company themselves, and the reason that they are
their behavior is atrocious.
the reason that they have the most cash sitting in their bank account in the world right now
Is for lawsuits.
is through lawsuits
Part of it.
and the fact that they overcharge for and their predatory practices. That's not a bad one.
Yes, it is.
Anyways,
Don't hit the button anymore. I've got
Okay. Okay.
fun stuff.
It's a separate channel. You
We're-
just cut out the channel.
Yeah,
anyways,
we'll take the button away.
anyway.
You guys told me that you were going to take the button away like 7 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I
and
still
I-
have
and-
the button.
That's
But
true. I gotta go edit it
another
more.
example is whenever they announced the new MacBook Pros with the M3 chips and everything, instead of having a direct comparison to all three generations or current M3 to M2, they only chose to show M3 versus M1, and they touted it as, you know, this 15% increase in power and this, that, and the other. When in reality, if you go generation over generation, it's like your standard Intel 5 to 7% increase.
Or the same thing now NVIDIA does their marketing is, again, they never go one generation back. Like when the 3000 series came out, they compared it to the
10
10
series,
series.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're comparing like a 3070 to a 1070. Like, well, of course it's over double the performance. The 1070 was released up to many years ago.
I
It was
mean,
like
the 10,
almost
yeah,
10.
the 10 series was out for a decade. I mean,
It was like 8 years
yeah.
at
Now,
that point.
devil's advocate here, because marketing is the devil. I think we can all agree on that.
Mm.
If you are trying to market this, what you could make the argument for is they're trying to market it to the people that jumped on the bandwagon, the early adopters, that they didn't jump on the next generation. So we're jumping another generation. So
Then
for
include
those
everything.
users in the
It's
Nvidia,
not to say that you shouldn't
in the
include those
NVIDIA
in
side
your
of
marketing
things-
material. It's don't exclude the previous version.
and I'm not defending that part. I'm just saying that it does kind of make sense from a
yeah.
marketing
Going
standpoint.
back that far.
For the NVIDIA
yeah.
side of things, right, the 1060 and the 1070, unless I'm mistaken, are still two of the most used cards in the Steam survey.
They are
So-
definitely going down. Like the 1650 was up there pretty high, which that one's going down. 3060 is pretty dang high. 3070 is still also up there. But like
But from a marketing
for-
standpoint,
from a marketing
you're
standpoint-
marketing to the largest base.
it makes sense, but it doesn't show the product in the proper light because at least in my
I'm not
opinion,
disagreeing with
yeah,
that.
it's just like
Okay.
the majority of tech marketing out there is horrible for the vast majority of the people trying to buy the product because it either A, it doesn't accurately show what the product truly is and what it's capable of, or B, it completely oversells what the product is capable of, and you're buying into hopes and dreams that as soon as you get that shiny new thing in front of you, it really only does like maybe 40, 50, 60% of what was actually advertised.
So what's funny is that part of Apple doesn't actually really have to make much changes because when you compare them with Microsoft right now, at least Apple so for those of you listening that don't ever touch a Mac, on a Mac they have what is called the Finder. That's on the Windows. That's File Explorer. Finder still works as a file explorer, and it doesn't have any sort of a browser or web tie-ins. It only shows you what's either on the device or what's in your iCloud drive.
I mean, the File Explorer
That's
does
the File
that too.
Explorer does too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
But it also
has
doesn't
the
try to
OneDrive
give me any
connection.
web searches.
that's a fair point.
I have never got a web search
What
for
do you-
File Explorer.
What are you talking about? When I I type in the search bar and I'm looking for a specific Word document, I don't want to see my report I made on pigeons. I want to see pictures of pigeons in my File Explorer. I mean,
You
come
don't
on.
want to see an ad for Pantene Pro V?
Yeah, it's fine. Well, no,
That's
I don't.
what Microsoft
I don't.
thinks you want to see.
I don't see those ads, Steve, because I have Pi-hole deployed and it
No,
blocks.
no.
all
Oh,
that
but they're
crap.
going to do the
No,
same.
we're talking about two different things here.
I
though.
know.
Kernel
You're-
level ads.
You're talking
That-
about
that is the
the
thing, I
actual
hate it.
File Explorer versus the search bar that's
They
connected
do
to Bing.
in Windows 11. They do the same thing.
Yeah.
They do the
They're
same
starting to
thing.
incorporate
Yep.
that everywhere.
I have not seen that once.
I have seen it on my personal machine. If I go in File Explorer and I hit use the search option inside of there, I will get web searches inside Windows 11 in the File Explorer.
That's not
Well,
had that.
I will say this though, it I did feel a tangible like ooh. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of setting up briefly like a little
Is
bit
this
of
literal
setup.
pleasure or sarcastic pleasure?
Yes.
No, yes.
Okay.
A
I am no
brand
less
new-
confused than I was before that
a
question.
brand new 2023 16-inch MacBook Pro M3 with, I think it has either 32 or 64 gigs of RAM and a terabyte SSD, basically full-blown. It's literally, I looked at the receipt, $3,500 laptop in my hands. And it just had that knowledge. It did give me that tangible, ooh, this is fancy. Even though I should know, but I mean, it's just like, it's just a friggin' M3 Mac, and that's the charge for these.
It is a
stupid things.
very
Yeah.
premium
But
experience.
yeah, it is a very premium feeling.
Because
and
now it
premium,
has those nice square but rounded edges.
yes, because they went back to this design,
The
which is the
unibody
superior Mac design. Fight me.
Which Mac?
How old is
which
your
Mac
Mac?
is that?
Oh, this is my literally decade old
2013 MacBook
13-inch
Pro.
MacBook Pro. Yeah, it's 2012.
2012.
Yes, sir.
So it's over a decade old.
Yes,
Yes.
slightly.
It's 11 years old. It's almost a teenager, dude.
Yeah, it's doing great.
quick backtrack here.
I
many
can only
batteries
go
has
up to
it gone
Catalina,
through?
but what?
Yeah. How many batteries has it gone
Just
through?
two.
Oh,
Well,
that's pretty.
no, technically this is the third one.
Oh, that's still pretty good.
Quick backtrack here. I was curious what the actual most used video cards are on Steam right now. So I went to the Steam survey, and the biggest market share is actually the 3060, but it is followed by
Represent.
but
Okay,
it is
keep going.
followed by the 1650 and 1060,
Yeah, but
and
that's
then the
about what I figured.
3060 laptop GPU.
That's about what I figured. It's
I really like my 3060.
It's not a bad card. I mean, I got the 3080. I was looking at getting the 3070 until crypto ripped that dream away from me.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna try and find my card, in
which is
here.
hilarious because I have a 1650 in our NAS right below the desk. Like that's just the display out the 1650.
That's awesome.
Actually, it's 1650 Super.
But the 3060, like I upgraded from a 780 to the 3060. It was a huge jump.
That is actually a very
Huge
very
jump.
significant jump.
I
God, those
went from-
780s were
wow.
they were awesome though for
Yes.
years.
Yes, for the time especially. But I went from, struggling to do like low to medium 1080p to I can throw anything that I want at it. Like I have not hit like Cyberpunk, right? I'm able to run it 1440p, ultra settings, ray tracing, everything,
Yep.
60 FPS. Solid. Like it's been that was the greatest jump in my computer history so far, was from the 780 to this.
I have to say I'm still pretty happy with my. That I'm still annoyed that I paid I think an extra $100 or $150. I think it went down another $150 like a couple of months after I got it. But the 6950 XT has been rocking and rolling pretty good.
Is that the previous generation of AMD cards? Or is
Yes.
it the current? Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
the
previous.
highest end of the previous generation.
Gotcha. Is that what you got too?
No.
No, I have
No.
the 7900 XTX,
Yeah, he
which
got
I
the
actually
current.
just looked up because I was
Gotcha.
curious what the Steam share of that is. And
0.01%.
it is 0.031%, which
Whew.
was it's actually about a 50% increase over the previous month.
Wow.
So
That is
Oh,
good.
boy.
that's actually pretty big.
That's
God,
awesome.
Not like thinking about graphics cards. Like I gotta
Where's
actually try to remember how many cards I have.
Oh god, this could take a while. What's the 6800 XT at?
I will find it.
Because that was a
It's
pretty.
currently sitting in
people
sitting in a box in my office right
were,
now.
not yours. Talking about the Steam survey, sir.
0.34%, which is also almost a 50% increase over the last
Okay.
month.
All right.
They've been dropping in price.
I just remember when
Like, they're
those
actually
dropped
good
in price
cards.
initially, people were snatching those up pretty
Yeah,
quick.
those are excellent cards.
Yeah.
Like they're really good.
So anyway, how many cards do you have?
Oh god, okay. So I have the 3080 10 gig that's in the main rig. I have two ARC A380s. One is in the media server, the other one is in a VM host 02 at the moment, which is going to be off for offloading tasks. 1650 Super and the NAS in here. I have two 2070 Supers. I have a 6800 XT that is currently going out for repair. I have a 6800 that's on my bench that I'm currently repairing. That thing is almost fixed. I think that's actually all I had. 'Cause I sold a bunch. So I sold the 1070. I sold the 2060 I had. I think that's it. I think that's all I have at the moment.
I'd also like to say, I know you are. Is
Did you see
everybody? Is
the,
any,
the old Epic or previous gen Epic cards are on sale?
Yes, my wallet says no at the moment, but yes, I saw them. I was like, dang it.
is anybody else familiar with Intel's website?
Yes.
It's horrible.
I've never used
Just use Intel Arc.
Oh my
just
god.
just go to the Intel Arc if you're searching up any of their products. That's all I use.
It's just
Intel what?
Intel.com.
Yes, Intel.com.
Yeah,
is horrible.
Intel.com is terrible.
Well, it's a
No, but if you're looking up products like for Intel, you just use this guy.
Oh, ARC like ARK.
Yeah. So this is their entire product stack search. So like when you're
Well, I was looking for
I-
something with a price on it, but
it'll tell you the MSRPs. So like
They
say,
called-
okay, yeah,
They
like
called
for
it
the-
ARC because they had to save it from drowning in all of its wall.
Yeah. So say like for the 12600K, which is in the DevOps machine, like it gives you the entire breakdown specs, things of that nature. When it was released, I thought it gave price. It may not.
and see this. It's weird because this is the exact same information that's going to be on their website, but for some reason the UI is better.
It's significantly better.
Like fix your website, Intel, for
Because-
God's sake.
Because this is what I typically look at is the expansion options, because when you're picking CPUs, this is actually incredibly important for PCIe lanes and scalability. And then the advanced technologies is incredibly important when you're things like for virtualization, or if you're doing like an embedded based solution or things of that nature. You have to look at like the instruction sets, if it supports like hyper-threading, turbo boosting, Optane memory, which Optane said that they killed, which Optane was amazing for low-level caching, things of that nature when you're looking into all of it. But Intel Arc is not the GPUs, but their actual product search site. Phenomenal tool. Highly recommend.
So is the Intel website what you hate this week, Steven?
No. But
But
low on
Intel.com.
the list.
What is this? Like, what is it?
For a multi-billion-dollar company.
That kind of looks like our company's
can do
website, like one version
You can
ago.
do better.
Right? Am I right?
You're not wrong.
Like that's
Like it's not good because you don't, when you go here, you don't know what type of product you're actually looking, because this right here, that actually is Intel Core technology and Intel Arc, their GPU stuff. These look like ads. These don't look like I'm actually trying to find out information about a product.
why would
That's
this is
'cause they
just
don't
ad.
want you to.
Why would they put that information out there? That's what their retail partners
They
are for.
they
Yeah,
are
you're
ads.
not wrong. Kinda.
They are ads.
but I got America on there.
But
They got 'em a
it
big
doesn't
old
make
American
sense when I
flag.
click on this. It's like, all right, cool. So I have like Core i9 processors. What's a Core i9 processor? It delivers up to 24 cores of seamless 4K Ultra HD and 360-degree video.
What does
Why
that
does
have to
that
do with the
matter?
processor?
For the processor, 24 cores. That's all that it said about
And
what.
it immediately goes into graphic stuff. Like what?
That's so dumb.
A buddy
Stop
of
it,
mine got
Intel.
a i9 the other, or in his new computer build, and I can't understand why he did. Still, he's not doing any video editing. He's not going to use it
Because
He just-
I thought
He
we
got it 'cause he
we
could.
spec'd out the i5s for him, if I
Different
remember
guy.
right. Different guy. Okay. But yeah, like no,
No,
like
I've
again,
been-
even
I
I.
would love an i9.
I don't even have i7s. Like for the Intel ones that I have a 12600K and a 12400, and they are so good. They are incredibly.
Like,
also,
the
I
i5s
also have
aren't
11
bad.
Well, and
but, yeah.
typically the
Oh, they're great.
And the
They're
i5s are
6-core
typically
processors. Awesome.
clocked a tad bit higher than the 7s, like on the high end of the 5 SKU.
They can because again, when you're doing scalable cores, the more cores you put onto a substrate, the more power it takes to actually drive all of them, which means it brings clock speeds down.
Mhm.
So you can still actually have high single core clocks, but that's only for like a couple of the cores, like especially on the scalable CPUs on the enterprise side. Those ones, as soon as you start getting over like the 8, 16, 24 core count processors there, like I don't know if they're most recent Xeons, but I know like back on the E5 days or the silver and gold platforms, like you typically didn't see anything coming even close to 5 gigahertz that had decent core count for server infrastructure. It's not a thing. The new ones, I believe you're getting some up there, but do not quote me on that because I haven't looked at Xeons in a while since Epic has been a thing, and Epic is just so much better because you have very good single core, multi-core, and you get a crap ton of PCIe lanes for expandability. It's just, in my opinion, the better platform to go with.
Would you say that Epic is Epic?
It's very epic.
So they actually fittingly named something for once?
Yes, the Epic platform, very, very big fan of. Really, oh, I do the new Threadripper Pros. I want so bad, but my wallet says no.
Most people's wallets say
You
no.
ignore your wallet half the time.
You're not wrong, but this one, it's like no. Even I can't
Think
ignore the
about
price.
what's in the living room out there
For funsies.
for funsies.
Hey, I got those off eBay though; they were cheaper.
How many hundreds of dollars was it still?
Don't worry about that. It was still less than new, so it was fine.
I think we might have talked our audience's ear off enough for one session.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
We haven't yelled enough. Need
We
to yell
haven't
more.
yelled enough. Ian, why don't you rant about something real quick that's gonna cause you to yell?
Users are stupid.
That is 100% fair. 100% fair.
We don't
I
have
had-
enough.
We
Okay.
don't have
For
enough time. But go for it.
Quick.
Just quick.
For the
quick.
last week and a half, I have been trying to figure out how I'm supposed to do something, and the users have been telling me, "Oh, yeah, you just need this to create this dashboard." Because finally I'm introing myself. I'm a data analyst, and I'm trying to create this report for these people, and they're providing me the data. And the data architect that I've been working with has been telling me, "Hey, this is what you need." And he can't understand why I don't understand why. He can't understand why I'm telling him what he's giving me is wrong. It's because he misnamed it. And he misnamed it. He put it in a structure that within our ecosystem denotes the most incorrect way to do it, and then he gets confused as to why I can't use it, or why I don't think I can use
naming
it.
schemes and variable naming is always the hardest thing.
Do not
Always.
start doing variable names to me, because I can go on a very long rant about Microsoft's variable naming, especially when you're trying to do unionized scripting between their cloud-to-cloud infrastructures, and they change the variable names between two sides of 365. It's all the same backend, but it's two different sides of the portal.
Two different teams. One team wanted one version, and one team wanted another.
I can't believe that.
But they both do the same function. Why'd you change the name?
Because they could.
Because they let the variables unionize. That's what it was.
So now I have a. I have a 120-hour project that's due by the end of next week. So I have 7 days to do it.
You got this. So
Better
don't
get
sleep.
to it, bud.
You don't do it. You don't sleep already, so it's fine.
Just don't sleep. It's fine.
You have a child that keeps you up all night. It's fine. Just don't sleep.
Your salary.
I think we now have some topics for next week.
This sounds like a great one to
variable
continue
names
next
and
week.
users.
Oh, good Lord. Well, anyways, this has been the Hostility Morning Podcast. I've been your host, John, joined here today by
Nathan.
Matthew.
Ian.
Oh, Steven.
Have a good one.
Hostile?
I forgot to say it's fine. It's been so long, okay?
That's fine. Yeah, no,